Flock safety is making changes. This comes after a wave of public backlash related to law enforcement officers misusing the technology, including an incident right here in Sedgwick County. One Wichita man says that while he's glad to see these changes, he doesn't think it's enough. Sophia Gernander explains.
I'm a little bit hesitant to take this as a win.
A group of Wichitans has been pushing back against the use of flock cameras. They're automated license plate readers that police often use to catch criminals.
Cameras are capable of reading license plates as they pass.
But some law enforcement officers have abused these cameras. You might remember a former Keachai police officer who used these cameras to stalk his ex-wife.
Why sweep up data on everyone, whether they're guilty or innocent? You know, I understand if you're going to have the cameras, using them to try to recover stolen vehicles, but that doesn't require sweeping up and storing data on every single car that passes.
Flock is making changes to this system in order to prevent this kind of abuse. Law enforcement officials can now only use these cameras in connection to a case, and they'll be locked out if the system suspects any kind of misuse.
If you try to use this tool illegally, you will get caught. And I hope that state regulators pass bills that make that a criminal offense.
But Drew Cranmer doesn't think this is enough. He's concerned about the potential of these cameras flagging innocent people.
There are cases of kind of mistaken identity where someone will get pulled over and police are going into these situations hot.
I asked Drew, what does he want to see from companies like Flock?
Taking the cameras down. Short of that, more oversight, more transparency. Here in Kansas, releasing the audit logs so that we can see what's going on.
In Wichita, Sophia Gernander, 12 News.